Jerome Powell will have to cut rates in September. We are going to talk about why I believe this is true, as well as some Bitcoin analysis for the upcoming days. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bitcoin Predator. Hit the like button and subscribe. So there has been a lot of pressure on the Fed in order to reduce rates, especially from Donald Trump. And right now, he has a good reason for it. This is because we had the data revision of the US non-farm payrolls, which pretty much measures the change in employment from one month to another. And the revision was massive. From July, the first data was about 147, but actually, hey, a little bit of mistake, it was actually 14. If you take a look at the historic payroll revisions, we are going to notice that this level is as further as the level that we had during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is actually a big deal because it means that the Fed is already behind on time when it comes to cutting rates. And this is exactly why we are going to notice that the rate cut probabilities on September spiked to 93%. And as you know, the Fed has a dual mandate. They have to keep economic growth while keep inflation down and a healthy labor market. So from this data right here, we can already conclude that the first pillar of the decisions from the Fed to cut rates or not has already cracked, which is employment. Labor market is already compromised, and that is a big pressure in order to the Fed to reduce rates. Not only that, how about the inflation data? When we look at inflation data right here, we can clearly see that since the beginning of the year, inflation has been going up and down, a little bit up, and then continue its way down. So we can conclude pretty confident that the trend is actually to the downside. And I truly believe that we are already behind when it comes to the inflation. The Fed is already behind when it comes to cut rates because of the inflation. Inflation is already under control, and right now this is the other big pressure for Jerome Powell to cut the rates. So as you can see right here, on the next meeting that they're going to have on September 17, I believe, yes, September 17, this is the date when they're going to decide if the rates are going to be cut or not. By coincidence, this is exactly the timestamp that I tracked for the next Bitcoin peak for this bull run before the end of this bull market. And we have a strong confirmation that the current daily cycle low already happened on August 3 right here on this region after the 60-day cycle from the last bottom on June 5th. Which now begs the question, where are we going from here? Can we actually confirm that there is a high probability that the price will go up over the next following days? And the first data that I want to bring your attention is the RSI. During this bull market, the RSI has been going from the oversold level to the overbought, but whenever we are on an uptrend on the third stage of the bull run, we are not getting as further down as the 40 level on the RSI, which can be confirmed by the daily cycle low right here that took place on June 5th. And then right now we are on the current daily cycle low that the RSI got as further down as the 39. And we can see here that Bitcoin price has already recovered from the daily cycle low, already showing signs that we are going to continue its way up. The other confirmation that we have right here is the global M2 liquidity index as well as the growth rate of the M2 liquidity. The high correlation between the M2 liquidity and the Bitcoin price can also be confirmed from the M2 growth rate that has been going on since April. And like I always say here, as long as the line is above the 0.1, it means that the liquidity in general continue to grow. This can also be confirmed right here from this recent data that we had a little bit bounced back to the downside, but the M2 global liquidity started to recover already. And it also confirms the peak of Bitcoin price right here from my window, which is going to be between August and September. So as long as the M2 growth rate continues its way up above the zero line, it means that the global M2 liquidity will continue to rise and the Bitcoin price will follow along as well. As you know, the correlation is not exact, so sometimes you're going to have an offset of 75 days, 90 days, something like that. But nevertheless, the overall trend we can see that it is still going up. But I truly think that we are on the last stages of this bull run, because as you can see right here, although it continues its way up, we are already near the peak of the M2 global liquidity. And yeah, I can see the price recovered a little bit in this quite recently, but as you can see, we might actually starting a downtrend. It is still too soon to tell, but nevertheless, this is awareness for us to keep an eye on the price and get ready to take profit when the time is right. But nevertheless, I'm still keeping an eye on the current confirmed daily cycle low that we can see right here, but I'm not very sure if it is going to be confirmed for the next daily cycle. The previous one that theoretically is the more confirmed one, I think it has more confluence, but only time will tell. Let's keep a track on both of them and manage our risk. Now we are on a daily cycle low. It is time to evaluate possible points of interest in order to place our trades using our smart money concepts. And the first behavior that I see right here on the Bitcoin price is that we had actually a breakout, and then after this breakout we had a confirmation of the new support level, as you can see right here on this schema. Clearly we can see that the price has actually confirmed a new support right here on the 112 level, and I truly think that this is going to be the support level and we're not going below that. From the previous analysis that we did last week, I can see that the fair value gap on the daily time frame was already completely filled. On this fair value gap on the daily time frame, we can identify a imbalance region right here at the 113 and 111 level, which also got already liquidated. The next point of interest that I will strongly consider to place another long trade will be right here, this order block on the 112 and 110 level. But I do not think the price will stay in this level for too long. Perhaps a liquidity sweep aggressively to the downside before continuing its way up. But this is just one possibility, because the price has actually confirmed the support level at the 112 level. And when we look at the price behavior right here, we can see that actually the bottom with a lot of volume was already confirmed, but it did not cross the 113 level. Now I expect the price to break this line right here, which is going to form a new a new change of character in the shorter term in the 4-hour time frame. After this break of structure, yes, we can consider the new trade to place and then continuing our way up. Zooming into the 1-hour time frame, depending on your risk management, you can also place a trade right here on this order block between the 114 and 113,500. You can see right here a strong candle to the upside confirming with volume, and then maybe the price can come back down, and then continue its way up. Some more macro analysis, we can see that after the war between Russia and US is not going to happen anyways, we see that now we are bouncing on the neutral level of the fear and greed index between the 52 level. It was a sharp drop during the weekend, but now we are stabilizing again to the upside. And as you know, we do not place trades on the weekend. Those who did already got liquidated, and we have a huge liquidity already formed to the upside, which part of it already got liquidated as well. And I believe that the price will continue its way up to liquidate even more. Bitcoin exchange reserve continue its downtrend, and right now we are at 2.3 million, which increases the probability of a supply shock in the near term, as well as the ETFs who got the outflow because of the bad news from the job market data, but then the outflow already is reducing, and I believe that it will continue to going up, balancing back again to the inflow.